Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Got college football Saturday here. Huge Big Ten game. Ohio State on the road at Penn State. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Source. Hey, get the Source.
All right, Buckeyes are in Happy Valley, like I said. Line opened up Penn State plus 14.5. Early public slightly leaning towards Ohio State, but the money is even, so there's some sharp bettors out there that like Penn State early. Little bit of a roller coaster line here. Gets all the way up to as high as 16 in the middle of this week. Here we are on Friday night. We're looking at Penn State plus 15. So let's cap this game. If you subscribe to this channel, you already know the first step. We're running the numbers through the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Penn State plus 25.8. So that's a full 11-point lean on the Buckeyes. All right, let's break this matchup down, and we'll start with Ohio State. After their week 1 scare against Notre Dame, they have basically dog-walked everyone they've played since then. Get this. In the last 5 games, Ohio State has beaten their opponents by an average of 39.8 points. They're winning their games by an average of 40 points. By the way, in that stretch, you got Wisconsin, you got Iowa, you got Michigan State. It's not like they're playing complete scrubs. I mean, those aren't elite programs, but it's not like they're playing FCS schools. Ohio State is cruising. So right off the bat, before I even dive into any numbers, I'm already leaning Ohio State because I'm not trying to fade them right now. I mean, according to the numbers, they're first in OFEI, best offense in the country, and 4th in DFEI. Best offense, 4th best defense in the FBS. Now, one thing that should scare you a little bit if you're trying to bet Ohio State here is the matchup history between these two. And I'm not going to say, oh, Penn State has their number, because that's not true. Ohio State has won 9 of the last 10 against Penn State. But Penn State always plays the Buckeyes tough. Look at the margin of victories for the last 5 years, the last 5 games here. Ohio State won all 5, but 9, 13, 9, 1, and 1. So laying 16 on the road in Happy Valley is definitely a little scary. In fact, since we're talking about laying 15 or 16 points, let's take a deeper look at this matchup history. Now, both these teams are in the Big Ten East, so they play each other every year. I'm assuming most of you already knew that. But anyway, if you didn't, now you know. You have to go back 7 years to find the last time Ohio State beat Penn State by more than 2 touchdowns. And you have to go back all the way to 2009 to find the last time that Ohio State beat Penn State by more than 2 touchdowns in Happy Valley. But that's in the past. Let's look at the present. Let's look at this particular matchup right here. Now, it's hard to put together a YouTube video with a team like Ohio State because all their numbers are just silly. I mean, they're elite in everything. So what I usually try to do with a team like this is I try to find a weakness. I mean, it's going to be hard, but we'll look for a weakness and then see if Penn State has the tools to exploit that weakness. And like I said, it's not easy to find a weakness with this Buckeyes team, but I think if I had to choose one, I would say their defensive front is capable of being bullied around a little bit with a physical rushing attack. We saw it in the Wisconsin game. The Badgers rushed for 192 yards on 5.5 yards per carry on Ohio State. Yeah, the Buckeyes beat the absolute brakes off of Wisconsin in that game, but keep in mind, this is mostly the same Ohio State defense that got bullied in the Michigan game last year by Hassan Haskins and that Michigan offensive line. So if I had to pick a weakness for Ohio State, I would say it would be a big physical rushing attack. Good news, Buckeyes fans, because Penn State definitely doesn't have that. Yeah, that Penn State freshman, his name's Singleton, he broke a couple runs last week. He looks good, but overall, this Penn State team isn't threatening anyone with their run game. As far as Penn State's defense goes, this is a great unit. They're 8th in the country in DFEI. This is a top 10 defense, and they've earned every inch of that rating. But let's be honest here, Penn State hasn't seen a passing offense since Purdue. That was 2 months ago. Look what happened when Penn State played Michigan. They got outgained 563 to 268 in total yards. Trust me, I know. I had Penn State plus 7 or 7.5, whatever the hell the line was. Got crushed. Now, I know a lot of people are riding the coattails of the Penn State defense off that Minnesota game last week. Penn State shut Minnesota down, and they did. That's fair. They completely did. But honestly, that was more on Manny Diaz and James Franklin just straight up out coaching PJ Fleck and his staff. I mean, Tanner Morgan was hurt going into the game. They knew Minnesota's offense was going to rely heavily on Mohamed Ibrahim. He carried the ball 30 times for like 100 yards. He wasn't efficient at all. Penn State's defense was all over it. But like I said, they had the perfect game plan against an injured quarterback. That is not going to be the case here. If Penn State takes all their defensive energy and focuses it on stopping Trevion Henderson and the Ohio State run game, Heisman Trophy favorite CJ Stroud is going to torch them over the top. Which is why, even though I would love to take the points and take the dog here in the hostile environment of Happy Valley, I can't fade Ohio State here. I'm laying them. Give me Ohio State minus 15. Let's lock it in. If anything changes with this bet, I'll let you know on Twitter. So give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets that I do, which are like bet of the day, parlays of the day, top 7 bets, the VIP ticket, which is the most important one, head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. College football Saturday, week 9, we're here. Let's have ourselves a good day. We're up like 8.5 units in college football in the season, but the last 2 weeks haven't been kind to us. Let's turn that around. I'll talk to you on Twitter.